Hey everybody, it's Pete Chito from the Meadville Tribune Sports Department. Welcome to episode 2 of our Sports Department podcast. Well, take 2 of episode 2, I should say. We tried Monday night to record this and it sounded like garbage, so we scrapped it and we reconvened Tuesday night in our fragrant break room here at the Tribune to try it all again. So thanks for listening. I'm joined once again by sports writer Jordan Hansgen. Say hello, please.
How's it going, everybody? I'm pretty excited for take 2 here. If we could do this every day, I mean, let's hope and pray that we don't have to, but,
We're doing it till we get it right.
We're doing it till we get it right.
And we are also joined by assistant sports editor Matt DiGiacomo. What is up, man?
Not too much. As you know, I've been trying to get this thing working. So hopefully we got it right this time.
We broke it all. If it sounds different to you guys, that's because we got rid of the microphones and the mixers, and we're going right into the built-in mic on Jordan's laptop. And so far, it's sounding all right. Let us know what you think. You could email us at sports@meadvilletribune.com, or you could reach us on Twitter at sports_tribune.com. Is that right? No.
Tribune_sports.
Tribune_sports. I'm going to get that right one of these days. All right, guys, let's get into it, and we can make the same points we did yesterday, and nobody knows any difference, okay? So it's, it's Tuesday, September 10th. Last week, let's go Friday night, high school football night. Where were you at, Jordan?
I went up to Edinburgh, and Meadville played a tremendous game, one of my favorite games I've covered thus far my short time at the Tribune. Meadville looked great all 3 phases. The real key was special teams. Early in the first half, they blocked a punt and recovered it in the end zone. That gave them essentially what turned out to be the game-winning score, if you want to think of it that way. And their pressure led to a bad snap late in the fourth quarter, which gave them the ball at the McLean 4. And Chandler Edwards was able to sneak in for the score, and Meadville pulled out a great region win against a very strong team.
35-28 over General McLean. Big Region 7 win.
Yeah, and, tough news today for General McLean, too, with running back Ben Howe-Jones suffering a torn ACL. I mean, that's just tough to watch. I knew he was banged up from the Meadville game. I didn't realize the severity of that.
Yeah, you said he walked off, didn't he?
He did walk off. He did get a little help, but I thought it was, maybe a sprained ankle, if anything. Yeah. But, he was sitting on the bench. I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, torn ACLs, they're sometimes hard to judge on just adding that night, and from all indication, I thought he was going to come back out and play.
And you had mentioned in our earlier podcast that in the lost episode, as it were, that you thought he was the real deal. That he was a really good back for them.
Oh, he was tremendous. I mean, even in the losing effort, he was for the first half. He was their offense. He was. As dangerous as ever. Every run, it looked like he could break 4 tackles and score. So tough break for them. Tough break for him. Hopefully he recovers quick and he's able to get back on the field.
I, on the other hand, was at the Conneaut area, beating Northeast 52-12. 100th win for Coach Pat Gould. They looked fantastic. They really started clicking week 2 against Meadville when they took it to Meadville. And they just seem to carry it over to week 3 against Northeast. We'll see what they do this coming week, but it was outstanding. And also a very special moment with Kyle Fisher, the member of the team he's wheelchair bound, dealing with muscular dystrophy. They handed him the ball and he went in for a touchdown. They had the whole student body there cheering him on. It was pretty cool. I ended up talking to Kyle's dad today. I guess he was driving bus at the cross country meet I was at. He said that they, some people have sent some social media posts to the Steelers and maybe something further down the line for him, some other honor, because they got him a James Conner ball. He's a big Steelers fan, so something further might be coming from that. Matt, what football last week? What stood out to you?
A couple things. You mentioned the cash game. I think credit to them and Pat Gould for coming out of the big emotional Meadville win and not looking past a winless Great Pickers team, because that can sometimes be, that those are the games that you end up losing when you don't take a team seriously.
I also want to know, Northeast was very cool with how they helped, Connie do that thing for Kyle Fisher, how they, defended and dove after him and stuff like that. They were very cool the way they handled that. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's right. And then the other thing was the Meadville game. Out of the Meadville game, I was impressed with the way they rebounded after getting blown away by Cash. And then also rebounding in that game itself against McLean after they blew a 14-point lead.
Yeah.
It's those kind of efforts, keeping yourself mentally fit and keeping yourself mentally in the game. That kind of effort is what makes the team grow so much quicker.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing to me, even though we did not cover the game, we did have we did
our
get the
friend
game
down
from
Sharon Harold, Ed Farrell,
our good friend Ed Farrell down at the Sharon Herald covered it for us, the Maplewood West Middlesex game, and Maplewood with a huge win. I don't know if it's the biggest win. I don't know if it's the biggest win in program history, but it's got to rank up there with the biggest win in the last 10 to 15 years to go down to West Middlesex and come out with a victory. And what stood out to me in that game was we knew Maplewood was going to have a good offense, but once again their defense came to play. They got 2 shutouts and held a very good Mercer team to 12 points. That's impressive 3 games into the season.
Yeah, when I spoke to Coach Borkovich earlier in the season, he did note that the battle is yet to be won for them. With Maplewood, the last 4 years, they've been in position to win a big game at the end of the year, to win the region or win something big, and they've come up well short every time. That's going to be the battle for them this year. Is when it comes down to it, is closing it out, is getting that final win that they need, getting that final performance that they need. And I think that they've got those kids. They got their heads screwed on tight. Those kids are. They're champing at the bit this year to get to that big game and to show what they've been working on all off season long. It's going to be fun to watch them down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have Saturday night? Cockerton, tough loss to the Titans. Well, Cockerton has yet to really get blown out, really, have they? They're in games. They just can't really score, and they were without. We don't know the story behind why Wyatt Barzak didn't play this year. Their quarterback played yesterday on Friday. But we'll have to follow that up this week to see what's going on with him. But he wasn't in the game. They had to go a different route, and they really didn't get their offense clicking much. Farrell beat up on Union City 35-0. That's kind of expected. I mean, Farrell's still Farrell. They came into the game 0-2, but they faced 2 really good opponents.
2 very, very good opponents.
Yeah, and Cambridge lost to Keystone 56-7. Cambridge Springs came in 2-0, and I knew nothing about Keystone. Were they good? You did a little research.
I mean, they were 1-1. I think they had 1 blowout, 1 close loss. So I mean, they're probably a very good team. I believe in region or District 9.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. And it doesn't get much easier for Cambridge as they go to Middlesex next week. Now, Saturday was college football day. Allegheny, the Rich Nagy story, era got started. His first game, it didn't go too great. They ended up losing to number
Rensselaer
19 ranked,
Polytech.
Yeah, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. They lost to them. The score was, 52-14. So Rensselaer ranked 19th in the nation. That's going to be a tough thing to.
Edinburgh also had a very tough matchup against, I believe, the 12th ranked team in the country.
Grand Valley State. Yeah.
So that's a good test. I mean, they're going to be playing teams like Slippery Rock. So I mean, they better be ready for that.
That final was 35-10. Edinburgh over Grand Valley State. Not terrible. Let's see, and then Penn State. Matt, did you get to watch some of that game?
Bits and pieces of it, yeah.
They beat the Buffalo. What was it? 45-13.
Yeah, and it was mostly in the second half. Buffalo played an outstanding first half, as I'm sure Jordan knows. He probably watched the game.
I did. I watched the whole thing. I thought Buffalo. They had their game plan. They wanted to run it against the Penn State defensive front. I think they were pretty effective in that regard in the first half. But then Penn State, talent wins out normally in the end, and Penn State did that. The big story was, the Buffalo punter had a pretty gruesome leg injury. And I guess what's followed from that is a lot of good story, good feelings. Is that he had his surgery. He seems like he's doing pretty well, And Penn State's been, he's been staying, I think, in the State College area, and Penn State players came to visit him. James Franklin came to visit him.
Well, that's cool.
And it was a lot of cool stuff coming from that. There's really no rivalry there. It's just a lot of just good football brotherhood type
and
stuff.
it was a freak injury.
Well, we should note Meadville's, in full disclosure, Meadville's Journey Brown was involved in that play. He got a piece of the ball as the guy was punting it.
And on his follow through,
the guy's
lower
leg was still coming
caught
up.
Journey's knee and
kind of disintegrated. It was gross.
It was not pretty.
Without the injury, you would say that's a really good play by Journey Brown. It still was a really good play by Journey Brown. It's just just a freak injury. Punting is a dangerous skill, and it's a dangerous thing. It's just a tough play. When the player's going for the ball.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised injuries like that don't happen more often in football.
Yeah.
They want people to go lower on tackles. I'm surprised.
I think the punt block is just kind of a rare art. Now, a lot of you see it in the NFL, teams don't even go for it because they're afraid of the penalty.
Yeah, that's true.
So teams don't even do that, but also they get the ball off quicker. A lot of stuff like that, but.
And interestingly enough, if you watch that play, if the kicker goes straight forward and punts, Journey's nowhere near that ball. He kind of went off to the side and actually towards the sideline in the Journey. Which played a role in that, and obviously he was trying to kick the ball in a certain direction. He went that direction. It just happened to be, like I said, a very weird and odd incident that occurred. And unfortunately, he suffered a broken leg for that.
But Journey, I think other than credit him with getting a hand on the punt, he had one of the more effective days on offense for him. He ran the ball pretty well, I thought. And,
other than the quarterback,
yeah.
He had the second most rushing yards, the most by a running back, and he was the only running back to average over 4 yards a carry. He averaged, I think, 4.7. Everyone else is around 2. So
he also still led the team in attempts. It was 6-5, but that's just how they're going to be going about it all year. They're not really going to change it
unless they decide to redshirt a couple guys. They still.
They still have that option. That's a new college rule.
Yeah, or if somebody comes out and just takes over a game.
Yeah.
I think if there's a hot hand, you got to play that hot hand.
Nobody's really had that chance yet. It's been this guy in this series.
And we will see what they do when they get thrown into the fire when they're playing Ohio State, when they're playing Michigan.
Right.
They haven't really had that test. Pitt might be a bigger test this week. They normally haven't really been that much of a test for Penn State as of late. But Pitt's always they're a scrappy bunch. And
you forget 3 years ago, or 3 years ago? Yeah,
2016.
3 years ago, when Penn State won the Big Ten, they lost to Pitt that year. So,
all right. So
and Pitt looks at this as a big rivalry game. They want this game every year. Penn State maybe not as much because they play in the Big Ten, but
Pitt's coming off a decent win Saturday too, 20-10 over Ohio. So so they're playing some decent.
Ohio's the MAC favorite. So that is a very good one.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, an NFL started Sunday. Go ahead, Jordan Buffalo won. Yay.
Yep. The winner of the group here, I guess, and the winner really of the area.
I didn't play Sunday.
But Buffalo pulled off a really gritty win. They had 4 turnovers in the first half and were still able to hold the Jets to 6. I think the Bills' defense is going to be one of the best in the league. I think that they are solid at every position. Their coach is a great defensive coach. Offense, a little bit more to be desired. But I think that Allen showed a lot of resiliency after having all 4 turnovers kind of be on him, and then be able to, recover from that and have a pretty flawless fourth quarter.
Matt, you were shaking your head through the first part of that. You want to explain?
Hey, he's proud of his team. We'll see what they do against a team that's not the Jets. The Jets are only slightly better than the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are taking the season. That tells you how
that's not what the Jets thought.
Matt's a Dolphins fan, to explain.
I am a Dolphins fan.
And I am a Browns fan. Moving on, the Browns, they look like crap Sunday. 18 penalties, 5 sacks, 3 interceptions. Absolutely nothing went right. They found every way they could to lose that game, and they lost it badly. Jordan, you made a nice point when we tried to record this podcast last time that this might be just what this team needed, actually.
I think it is exactly what they needed. I think they needed a bit of humility. I think they needed a bit of, not necessarily like, the fans deserve the hope. The fans deserve the excitement. But like the team, I think they let it get a little bit to their head, and I think that they thought that they were going to be able to roll over a team like the Titans, and the Titans are a solid AFC team. They always have been. They've been 9-7, 8-8 every single year. That's not a bad team. That's an average team. That's a solid team. And
you still got to go out and play the game.
You got to go out and play the games.
Just because everybody said you're going to win the Super Bowl doesn't mean you can't go out and win.
And now it sets up, I guess, this weekend, this Monday is a must-win for either the Browns or the Jets. It's kind of a win-or-go-home game.
Unbelievable.
As early in the season as you can think. But that's kind of how the league works.
Anybody want to talk about the Steelers?
I would love to talk about this.
Go ahead, man. Let it rip.
I mean, there's one king in the AFC now, and I think it's pretty clear which one it is.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh has always tried to be the fighter to this team, and New England is a monster, and it's just they were impressive.
Yeah.
For what they did to Pittsburgh. I think that they dissected the Steelers defense, and for the most part of the game, the offense too. The Steelers had nothing going. We'll see what happens with Antonio Brown. He's dealing.
Yeah, we had some breaking news tonight about Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to say anything wrong right now, but it's breaking right now, and they
really don't need him though.
No, I know
that's why I guess my takeaway from it is they can decide what they want to do with that. The league will decide what they want to do with that, but. Yeah, the Patriots look like a well-oiled machine with or without Antonio Brown.
Matt, your thoughts?
Not really any.
Okay.
Pretty much, I've said it before, I've kind of given up on NFL football. They don't allow anyone to hit. They don't allow anyone to play defense. So that's why I stick with baseball. They do allow you to hit and play defense. They really want you to hit. They don't really necessarily want you to play as much defense, but you're still allowed to do it, so...
Get off my lawn, you kids.
That's right.
That's what I get. That's the vibe I get from that.
All right. So back to high school sports. Last week we had the start of a lot of different sports. I was at a couple volleyball matches. I saw some really good teams. Let's see. Who did I see? I started the week out seeing Maplewood. They look fantastic. They're off to a 3-0 start by this recording. Jordan, you saw them as well. What did you think of Maplewood?
I saw them play against Warren.
The big match.
Yeah. The last year's state runner-up, and it was a really solid all-around win by Maplewood. They were physical at the net. They were, they had just everything was going right. The passing was solid, and in the third set when they needed to put the match away, Warren gave them their best punches, and they were able to dig some crazy plays out of there.
For the second match of the season?
Second match of the season, they looked like they were in playoff form.
Yeah.
So that's good to see, but you got to see how that progresses.
See a crescendo throughout the year. Yeah. They look good. I saw later in the week. I saw Connie and Cochrane going head to head. Both teams look good. Connie won the first game. Cochrane came back, won the third. Cochrane then went on and lost to Union City earlier tonight, so that was a big surprise. Union City might be better than expected. Cochrane might still be dealing with the ups and downs of having a lot of young kids in the lineup. It takes a little time for things to click. We'll have to see. We'll have to go up and see a little bit more of Union City to see what they're made of, because that's a big win, getting a win over, Marcy Mallard and the Cochrane Cardinals. But I think Cochrane, from what I saw, they have the makings of a very good team there. I think they're going to put it together as the season progresses, as these young kids get used to the timing and used to each other and used to knowing and figuring out where the ball is supposed to go. Let's see, Meadville, they look good. First game out, I think they played Hickory. They got a big win over Hickory. They came back and had a tough loss against Corey, which that's never it's not much to hang your head about. Corey's a great program. Losing to them is not a big deal. Plus, Meadville was without two starters who were dealing with injuries: Alexis Holt and Lucy Smith. Still not sure what's going on with Lucy Smith. Alexis Holt was back today as Meadville took on, who was it that they played today? Dang it, I just took that brief. But anyway, they got a win in 3. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out next time. But they got to win, and so it looks like they're getting back on track too. They're having some of those ups and downs as teams do at this point of the year, but I think they're going to smooth it out. Haven't gotten to weeks. It's still week 2. We're going to get to a couple more teams as the season rolls on. Haven't seen everybody just yet. Cross country also got started this week. I went to the Cambridge Springs tri-meet today against Cash and Franklin. They looked outstanding. The boys looked outstanding. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hunter Spade, Christian Klein, Alec Bidwell, and Elijah Mamula came in 1, 2, 3, 4. Bobby Motes, who was a state qualifier, came in 7th. He's going to be back up in that pack by the end of the year, probably. They have a very good team. They've been in 2 invitationals. They were the top class 1A team in all 2 invitationals at McDowell and at West Middlesex, and that's at the beginning of the season. I know Coach Kathy Shader, she's really excited about this group. She feels that, they just got to stay healthy. You want to keep those guys on their feet all season long. So that's the goal, getting them to October 26th and to the districts and getting them off the states. And I think they can do it. They're off to a good start. Let's see, Sagertown ran today, right, against Maplewood and Titusville, was it?
Yes.
Sam Hetrick. Freshman, he won that one. He's going to have quite a career for the Panthers. I think the Sagertown girls swept Titusville and Maplewood, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a good start for them, for a program that's, not always been a complete team. It seems like they've put it together this year. They might have something fun happening. Meadville, cross country, they beat Cathedral Prep today. They're good with Patrick Stevens took first. He's, I think, taken first and dang near everything he's ran in this year.
Won the McDowell Invitation.
Yeah, so he's off to a great start. And Matt Polio right behind him, a solid number 2 runner, and they've got guys slotting in real well for them. Cochrane boys, we thought, they were empty after they graduated, 2 of their top 3 finishers last year, but they came in today and they swept Oil City and Rocky Grove, so they're off to another, they're not to be dismissed, Cochrane. Let's see, what else we got? Golf. Region 3, big Region 3 match tomorrow, Oakland Beach.
Huge. Probably, Cash probably needs to win that one.
Yeah.
They need to take their home match. Because Sagertown still looks, they were saying that they were a little bit hesitant about claiming this year's victory. This would be their 8th straight, and but they still look like Sagertown. They still look strong. They're pretty consistent bunch all the way through. Dylan Flinchbaugh seems to be their number 1 guy, and they've been really solid. The real story from their last match was that Cambridge Springs has started to maybe take away some points here or there from teams, as well as Union City. I mean, Union City was a good team last year, so there shouldn't be any surprise with them. But Cambridge Springs seems to be back in the mix, and really a bad outing could end up putting you back to 4th. Normally, it would just drop you to second,
right?
And dropping you to 4th, that's 2 extra points there, and every point is critical.
So last week, then when they had that mega match at Venango Valley, they were tied, Cash and Sagertown.
They were tied going in. Sagertown came in first. Cash ended up coming in second. Then Union City was third. No, Union City was fourth. Cambridge Springs was third.
And then so
Union City I believe was a point back going in, so they dropped off a little bit, but it's still a wide open race.
So Sagertown has just a tiny bit of a lead going into this,
Yep.
and it's going to be Cochrane's home match. So that's going to be an exciting one tomorrow, which will be Wednesday for those. Matt, what happened with Lakeview today?
They actually won again.
Yeah,
won their. It's the 5th mega match for them, and in doing so, they clinched that title. So they are region champs again, and they have their spot set for the district tournament against one of those 2 teams. One of those teams we're talking about there, but the other region will be in that as well. So we'll have at least 2 teams from the area in that. We know that Prep is going to take the AAA spot out of the one region. Meadville won't be able to get in, I don't think. But we do know that Ryan Ferry is going to make.
What a week he's had, man!
Is going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot if he keeps going the way he's going right now to knock him off the top of the District 10 championships. There, he fired a 68 on Thursday at the North Hills Classic to set that 20 record.
Yeah.
And then
This is the second tournament record of his career, if I believe, right?
Yeah, last year he shot a 68 at the Marquette Invitational.
Up at the country club.
Yeah, that was the first 60 in that tournament, first one in the 60s.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the previous record was 70. And then on Monday he posted a 68 at a very good Mount Grove golf course up in Waterford in the Regis 6 mega match. So 2 68s within 4 days. I'm lucky.
17, 18-year-old kid?
Yeah.
Pretty outstanding.
I'd be happy if I could do 2 68s within 4 days on a 9-hole course.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, then that season, comes to a close fast. I mean, the start of October is really when that season.
Oh, jeez.
That season ends. So
yeah.
it's good that he's getting into form at this point in time. And that Lakeview program, they are solid all the way through. It looks like they find talent all the time. I mean, right now they're led by Brett Beef, who is he's an all-sport player, really.
Yeah.
And
Who's taking the first spot for Zach Dodo, who was their top guy last year.
Who was another
playing
great
at
golfer,
college. Yeah.
Them and Sagertown just seem to they just find talent.
Right.
They just restock, retool, and keep it rolling.
Good for Lakeview head coach Ralph Sunderland, Sharon High School alumni. Those guys know what they're doing out of Sharon High School.
It's kind of funny because a couple years ago, Brett Beef in the Lakeview the tip-off tournament when it was still at the Greens of Greenville came in, I think, third. Maybe 2 years ago, and I was like, all right, this kid's gonna be good. And then I saw him in baseball, and I was like, all right, this kid might be one of the best center fielders I've ever seen in my 20 years covering sports. Mm-hmm. And then I saw them take on Meadville in Legion Ball. And I'll tell you what, watching him and Wyatt Barzak roam center field, if you're at the plate, you better be able to pull the ball or hit it the opposite way, because anywhere between the left fielder and the right fielder, it's caught.
You meant Ty, right?
Or Ty, Ty, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Ty Barzak.
We also had soccer start this week. Let's see. You saw a pretty good one yesterday. Cambridge Springs girls.
Cambridge Springs girls. Good shutout victory. Over Seneca. Who's normally a power in that region, and Seneca lost a few players, but still quality win for Cambridge Springs, where they're trying to move up in that region standings, trying to move up in just program prestige, and that's a really good start early in the season.
They had a young team last year, I believe. They're together. They're back together again.
Yep.
Not a very big team, are they? As far as number of players?
No. Didn't seem like they maybe had like a few regular subs, but really they run about 14, 15 deep.
Okay.
So that's a small lineup, but that's kind of how soccer's played.
Out of their belt. I think they're going to be better this year. And then they're facing another team that's on the young side, Maplewood, who I saw yesterday, who ended up losing 4-0 to Eisenhower. Eisenhower looked good. Eisenhower had a lot of big girls.
They had a good team last year too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're pretty good. And they're going to be playing Wednesday, which will be tomorrow for us. Maplewood versus Cambridge Springs, big Pencrest girls soccer showdown. On the boys soccer end, we've just been to one so far. You were at Meadville today.
I was at Meadville today. They played against a very strong Erie team.
Pretty much an international team. Right?
Yes, and I mean Erie was terrific. They really controlled the midfield. Meadville's had an up and down start, 2-2, but I mean, considering they were 4-14 last year, that's not a bad start.
Yeah.
They're beating the teams that they should beat. There are some teams in their region that are just so good that they have to play against. But I mean, those are good challenges. I thought for the first half, Meadville was right with Erie. They had their opportunities to score. They just couldn't really control the pace, and really it was Erie's game as the game went along.
What did you say? Or Erie's goal differential was what, 22-0?
22-0.
In how many matches?
4.
4
Erie looks like a monster.
So 4-0. I guess. Yeah, even Berinsky said he's not, distraught over that kind of loss. It looks like they did what they could, but Erie looks like a
they
tough
played
spot.
against a very talented group.
Let's see. Okay, so we got coming up this week, girls volleyball on Thursday, Iroquois Cockerton. See if Cockerton can get back on the winning side of things. Union City at Sagertown, that might be something we have to go check out. See what Union City's made out of. See if Sagertown can fend them off. See what's going on there. Corey's at Cambridge Springs. That's another tough one, man. Corey's still very good. Cambridge Springs got a test in front of them. Grove City's at Meadville. Connie just beat Grove City in 3. Meadville's going to want to, do the same. Let's see what else we got. Boys soccer Fairview at Sagertown, 4 o'clock on Thursday. That should be interesting. Man, there's too much stuff going on Thursday. And then Friday we got football. Just a nice, easy day of football. Let's see. What's the big one here? Cambridge Springs and Maplewood. They're playing a lot this week. They're going to see a lot of each other. That's going to be a big region game. Cambridge Springs, like we said, 2-1. They have 1 loss against, which is evidently a very good District 9 team in Keystone. Maplewood's coming in 3-0, very hot squad. I bet Cambridge Springs would like an upset here.
There's 2 games that Cambridge Springs, people of Cambridge Springs want to win every year: Sagertown and Maplewood.
If they got Sagertown already, they got that week 1 or 2.
Week 2, yeah.
Week 2. So they got what they needed there. Now here's the other one. This would be a big year for them, because I believe they only won 2 games last year. Is that right, Cambridge Springs? 2 or 3? They only had a couple wins last year. I know that's the point anyway. Hickory at Conneaut. That's going to be Conneaut's first region game of the season. That's going to be a big one for them. Hickory was down last year, but they look pretty good. Do you know Hickory's record at the moment?
I believe they are 2-1.
So yeah, Hickory's playing a lot better this year. They got a new head coach. It looks like he's rebuilt things there. Conneaut cannot sleep on that, but they've been playing really well. They've been really executing their offensive defense really well. If they could keep that up, I think they're going to be fine. But if they don't, they won't. Wilmington at Lakeview, that's going to be a tough one for the Sailors. They're still looking for their first win. Wilmington has somehow manufactured yet another amazing football team. They do it every year. Congratulations to the Greyhounds. But, I don't know how, but they do. Cockerton at Union City. Now, I'm glad we got to re-record this because last week I said Union City was 0-3. They are not. They beat Eisenhower, correct?
Yes, and I'm the mistake guy this time because I said Hickory was 2-1. They are undefeated.
Now we're going to have to record everyone. So they're undefeated.
Hickory is undefeated, so that's going to be a huge game for Conneaut.
Yeah.
And but the Union City game, Cockerton, they got to get off the schneid somehow. Union City, they're a small team, but they are still talented. Yeah. Logan Kesselring's got a lot of yards already. Austin Jakewith also has a lot of yards for that.
They got
team.
a big front line too.
Yep.
Seen,
they still know how to run the ball. They still know how to run that option attack. So that's a good test for Cockerton.
I'm waiting for Saturday. Saturday's the game.
Yeah.
Saturday's the game.
Fort LaBeouf at Meadville, 7 p.m. Bender Field.
Right.
Which Meadville are we gonna get?
That's the question. Yeah.
And it's a good Fort LaBeouf team. So if it's the Meadville that showed up against Conneaut, they could be looking at right down in the barrel of another loss. They're gonna have to come out and play well, and on both sides of the ball, and on special teams. Special teams will help them win 2 of those games.
The special teams was huge in week 1 against Mercier's Prep.
Huge in week 3 against General McLean.
That's gonna be where they're. I think this is the game where we find out which Meadville we are going to get most of the year.
For
the rest of the year.
If they still have that momentum from that General McLean game, they're going to be in great shape because after that game, the jubilation, the excitement out of that all I heard.
Is that right?
There was just cheering, celebration, quick speech from coach. When you get a quick speech from coach, it's pretty something. And so
he's a very verbose man.
He's a very verbose man, but there was a quick speech, and quick cheer. And a lot of excitement. It seemed like that team's fired up.
Back to business.
I don't think I've ever seen him give a quick speech.
No.
So that's.
We're not saying anything insulting here. We appreciate it. He makes our job so easy when we just put the microphone in front of his face and he just expounds because we're like, oh my gosh, there's so much good stuff here. Right. He's a very good interview, So
normally, even like after a game like this, he would have great game for this guy, great game, and the speech would go on and on and on.
I mean, it
because
truly
he
was
likes
a
to
great
pinpoint
team win.
he likes to pinpoint everybody that did the job, and he must have just went in and said, "You guys all did great. I'm not going to pinpoint anybody. Slap yourselves on the back.
The vibe
Let's get out of
on
here.
that.
Let's get out of here."
All right, so then so we got that Saturday, 7 o'clock, Bender Field. Everybody's looking forward to that. Commodore Perry cross country invite on Saturday. Boys soccer, Sagertown County, two Crawford County teams going head to head. Girls soccer, Erie's at Meadville. We'll see if the Erie girls are as good as their boys counterparts up there. That's a 2 o'clock game at Bender Field. Well, I'm going to be busy at Bender Field on Saturday, aren't I? College football, Allegheny has bye week 2. Okay. I think coach is okay with that. They could reset after the Rensselaer game and go into Wabash, I think they have next week.
Yeah.
Or the 21st. And Bloomsburg is at Edinburgh. That's at noon up at Sox Harrison Stadium. And then a bunch of NFL on Sunday. And then it gets all started again on Monday. And we will talk to you at some point next week if we can figure out all this technical stuff. Do you guys have anything you want to share with the people before we go, Jordan?
No, just let us know if you got names, segment ideas. We're all ears for all your stuff. It's work in progress. I think we're enjoying this extra way to
Any
talk
audio
to
engineers who want to intern for this podcast, by all means, hook us. Again, Tribune at Meadville. No, what is our? We'll get to it in a minute. Matt, do you have anything you want to?
Well, as you're going to say, if you have anything that you want to put forth, ideas for segments. If there's something we missed along the way, someone you think we need to mention, an idea for the name of this podcast, because we do not have one yet.
What's wrong with the Meadville Tribune Sports Department sports podcast from the Tribune Sports Department?
It's flawless.
Too long. You can email us at sports@meadvilletribune.com. You can reach us at Twitter at Tribune_sports.
Mm-hmm.
You can also send us a message on Facebook. We have a Meadville Tribune Facebook page. We don't get that directly, but there are plenty of people who do look at it, and anything you send in will be given to us.
Maybe we should look at it. I don't want to look at Facebook.
And you can call us, 724-6370, extension 274. Ask for Jordan.
Yeah, definitely ask for Jordan. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Please listen again next week for another episode of the Meadville Tribune, whatever. For Jordan, for Matt, this is Pete Chido. We'll see you next time.